Hello, thank you for watching another edition of College Blok, real people doing real things. We have a special guest today, a very, very special guest actually. He's a good friend of mine, a very good person in the community. He's also a youth advocate, and we're going to have some very good dialogue today about a lot of great things that he's achieved and he's accomplished. I'm going to introduce him. Our guest today is Glen Hockley. How you doing?
Travis, it's great to be on your show. It's an honor, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. All right. So what I want to know from you is, as far as education is concerned, I understand that you've actually went back to college and obtained some certificates. Can you explain to the audience?
I'm a college graduate. I went to Hudson University in Bangor, Maine, and I got my Bachelor of Science in Business Administration many, many years ago.
Okay.
But I really didn't go back to college. What I did was I signed up with the Westchester Putnam Realtors Association, and got my certification as a real estate agent. And you also have to pass an exam with the New York State. And I got to tell you, they're pretty tough. It's really a lot of law that you have to learn, and it's a little tricky, but I'm out in the field now, and I'm working for Houlihan Lawrence on Mamaroneck Avenue in White Plains, and dealing with commercial and residential, renting, selling, condos, buying homes, you name it, co-ops, and I'm enjoying it because I'm dealing with people. But that ain't all.
Right. This is great. This is great. Now, one of your biggest achievements, as far as from my eyes, is that you were a city councilman of White Plains, and then you actually made a bold step and actually ran for mayor. Can you tell our viewers about that experience briefly?
Right. Briefly is it's not really about me, although when you're running, it's a person's name on there. It's about what we do and what we can accomplish. And I take that to heart. So I thought being the steering mechanism for the city by becoming mayor, I would surround myself with capable, intelligent people that did not necessarily have have influence on them from political parties, which seems to spoil usually any action as far as helping people is concerned. And we get down to work. We start with jobs, which is mother's milk. We got to establish jobs for young people, for all people, at all different levels. And the key to that, to start that spiral up, is by getting construction and development stirred again in our city, because from that you get new people that come in employment.
Yes.
You get development of retail, commercial, residential. You get new people that move to our city or relocate within our city of all different income levels.
Okay.
And you have retail establishments that open up, which provides jobs of all types, office jobs too. So that is what you need to stoke the fire with, because without that kind of economic activity in a city, it's the kiss of death. And what happens? Rents go up, property taxes go up, sales tax goes down, and even anybody can use as an excuse that we're in tough economic times.
Right.
Just remember.
Right. A recession.
Or
depression.
Absolutely. But just remember, there's always somebody who gains from these things. In other words, somebody's buying property, you see for sale signs, everybody knows somebody moved here or bought a property. There's always action, and maybe at lower dollar amounts, but there's still some kind of stimulus out there that we can start to build up. And that's what it takes.
Right. Now, as far as me being in the community, a lot of people joke around with me and saying that I should run for mayor. Now, I know what I would do if I'd run for mayor and if I would become the mayor of White Plains or any city. And I would do a lot of the things that you just mentioned. But as far as for our youth, for our young people, education, educational programs, because I know we have a lot of community centers. And they have their specific programs that they focus on and specific groups they focus on in different communities. But what I've been doing through College Blok, and what I would do if I were in that position, is have some additional outreach programs and outreach things for the kids. Because as you know, we got several malls now. So I guess it's a good thing that we have movie theaters and places that they can go to play video games and things like that. But I think the educational piece is very important. What are some of the things that you possibly had in mind on your agenda if you were to become mayor of the city of White Plains?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are definitely plans that I think are in the heart of our community, the same kind of ideas. Number one, you have to be able to thrill our young people about learning.
Right, make them excited.
And you also want to show that the city is complementary to the School Board of Education.
True.
So the first thing we have to do is to be able to take an active part in their education. At the moment, the way the city charter is set up and the state is set up,
yes,
that they're two separate governments, the Board of Education and the city.
Okay.
So what we need to do is to bridge that gap, as has been done in New York City to an extent. I'm not saying to copy that and take over, but
yes,
what I'm saying is to complement. Now, while I was a councilman, I met with 3 different superintendents,
yes,
and brought this idea to them. And I've spoken to the presidents of the Board of Education. All I want to do is let's start with one. I would love to see it once every 2 months, but let's start with one meeting between the City Council and the School Board of Education, because there is more that we as a city can do for them than the Board of Education can do for the body of government elected officials.
Yeah, this is
so
true.
What we want to do is I want to ask them, what would you like from the city besides money?
Yes.
Give me ideas, because if you don't have ideas, I certainly do.
Right,
and
very
one
good.
of them is an apprenticeship program. Now,
Very
there
good.
are some elements of that in our school system, especially on the high school level. But I think we can start that even a little bit earlier and asking young people, what are their interests?
Right.
And there are so many businesses in White Plains that would love to have an aspiring young person come in and do some work for them, even in the beginning, if it's not more than filing or just being a messenger, but
yes,
being around the business to learn it.
Right, get a
The
better
second
understanding, yes.
idea, I met with a past high school principal and spoke with him on the idea of at lunchtime, when the kids go to eat,
yes,
that they have a speaker, and I